I know you've worked with Aston Villa and Birmingham City. How did you get those inroads, or how did you make those inroads to be able to get into those spaces?
So like I had a quite a successful clinic in Birmingham City Centre. I was working for somebody else, and I had a lot of athletes come see me there. And then I kind of like decided to set my own up at the University Medical Centre in Edgbaston.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which was attached to the university. So I got a lot of sports people coming in. I was working with 7 GPs, and basically I just said to the GPs, just send me any MSK stuff you've got, anything that you don't like treating, or you're not too worried about, you everything you don't like, send it to me. MSK.
Yeah.
And then
GPs
if
must
I need
love
to
you,
triage,
man.
if I that's what this is what it did. You see, like I really one of the GPs. One of those GPs went off to the ROH and got involved with another exceptionally good sports physician, Rob Chakravarti, and then Rob started to refer patients to me, and we started to kind of like do a lot of work together. And then he sent me a footballer, and this footballer just happened to be from Blues. I treated the footballer, and he said, you know what, we need this kind of work in. Then I had to work with the medical team, and that was it. And then I walked in and people find,
The signal's breaking up.
got any take that very seriously in medicine, and in osteopathy anyway. I don't have any need. No, this is what I think. This is what I think the response to. Have I broken up?
A little bit.
Have I broken
But
up?
I think we managed to get the gist of it. It's cool.
Okay. Yeah. So and literally just snowballed as I started seeing. I started going into the Blues, but at the same time I got the gig with the European Tour and started. I set up. They wanted to set up a kind of a medical service for the Challenge Tour, and it was just like a massage service at the start. And I said, no, we need to go better than this. So we integrated osteopathy, then we integrated some nutrition, then we integrated psychology. We've integrated. Now it's a full performance medicine system. We've got S&C coaches, we've got biomech guys, we've got pathology, we've got surgeons that come in, with hand surgeon, we've got a foot surgeon that will come in and talk to the players. They can get all sorts of support, and so I know the aspect, or I've worked with the aspect of elite sport management and how to kind of like put together very, very good management for these athletes on all levels. And that's what I did. And then, obviously doctors talk and physios talk, and whenever the opportunity
blows up, doesn't it?
If like, so Aston Villa must have spoken to someone at the Blues and said, we need an osteo, and they said, yeah, we've got this guy. They made the call, and I started going in. And so I've been working on, Jack and Tyrone and Ollie Watkins, all these boys for the last 3 years.
That's incredible, man.
Amazing, man. Very inspiring.
They all know things now. They all know.
They know who we are now, mate.
They all know Gurdas, man. They all know Punjabi. I'm a big personality.
When I see a video and Vasaki, and I see them all coming out and I'm saying Fateh and saying happy Vasaki to all the things, I'll be like, this is Poora's work, man.
No. There's more people behind. There's more people. That's Punjabi villains. That is Punjabi villains are a good bunch of lads, man. They really push that side, and they will. You know what? It's very inclusive. I've got to admit, Villa is a very nice place to be. They're very inclusive, very aware, and they've got one of the sports scientists there, Aman. I don't know if you know him. Aman is I've known Aman since he was 14, and he basically did his degree, went into sports science, then went into the Blues, and he was there at the academy. Now he's part of the Aston Villa team. He's one of the senior sports scientists there. He's doing he's going to do his PhD soon in sports science. He'll be a force to reckon with in sports science in football, and he's a Pramunda. And I get pumped because, like, for many years, I was like going into these places, and there's no one there. There's no singing.
Of course not. And now it's starting to sing.
Yeah,
it's different.
Exactly.
And now it's starting to allow us more into those spaces, which is really big. It makes such a difference, especially seeing our time.
You must know Gurj Bogle.
I don't.
Bogle, no. Which space?
Is the England cricket doctor?
Oh. Yes, I do. I don't know him, but I know of him. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, like, Gurj is one of the doctors. There's a couple of doctors in Leicester, but that's about it. In sports, there's not much, man. And you know, we need representation. We need to go in. We need to showcase our skills and what we can provide the teams with. So that's why I've really pushed my team into sport. So all the lads that and the girls that work for me have all been given opportunities to work with Team GB and football teams and athletes and MMA and all sorts. And I'm a massive advocate of, you know, open doors.
Of course, that's massive because you're essentially kicking the door down. You're not even opening them. You're kicking them down and just getting everybody in, which is great.
Yeah.
It's really, really rare to see.
Yeah. And it's lovely to be involved.
This is why you're on the podcast, man. You're exactly the type of person that we want to showcase, to show to people that your story is unique, man. It's okay, maybe, you know, dentistry is traditional, but obviously it's come from your dad. But then there was this, whatever the spark was, man, you had this is what I want to do. You got the verification, that validation, like you said, within 3 months, and you know, you just trailblazed since.
Literally. And it's not. I don't like, you know. Obviously, we money isn't it? So you thank every day, like, you know, that this is how Maharaj has sent it. But I think with that, the fact that you do thorough work, the fact that you like your level of what you consider to be good is set high. So, you know, like, you know, when I work, like I won't, you know, I set my standards really high. I'm very hard on myself that now this needs to be better. I need to know more about this. I need to understand this. And people see your work ethic and they see the way that you are. And, you know, I'm not afraid to say I don't know. So they see that you're egoless.
Yeah, which is important. A lot of people are scared to say that.
Sorry, if they come in and they've got a complex ankle injury and I have absolutely no clue, but I have not the foggiest, I will say, lads, I have no idea. And I won't, and it doesn't affect me in any way. It doesn't affect my ego in
integrity. Actually, if anything, within healthcare, it's a great thing because a lot of people, it takes so much confidence, you know, to understand limits of your own practice and you know, where to become resourceful, refer,
which you wouldn't think
to work out.
You wouldn't think that that's a thing.
No, because people assume, you know, if I go and see patients, and just like you, bro, there are some patients that come in, man, and on a ward round when I'm seeing patients, there are some that are so complex. Like I have to read 10, 15 letters. I have to see what they're coming this time. A person can't speak to me, so I have to take a collateral history from somebody else. And this is within the realm of seeing other people as well. So it's like, but I have to give that time and attention. And only after that, I can then be like, okay, this is what I perceive to be the issue. Now I can start looking at the thing. But there are so many people who, this is NHS medicine, because of the pressure of the time, they will basically, like they have a rubber stamp, they'll have this algorithmic approach to certain things. Like, oh yeah, we'll do this, this, and this, and this, because that's what we do for everybody, which takes out the skill, you know, takes out the art. So absolutely recognizing what you don't know and then saying, okay, I don't know, but this is what I'm going to do to find out. That's what people appreciate ultimately.
Yeah. I think so.
So was that like a similar thing with how you made it into Team GB as well? So it was just word of mouth and reputation that built up.
Yeah. So I was, the first sport I worked with was athletics. The first athlete I treated was in 2000.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, I was treating sprinters from there. The sprinters then would tell the coaches then would involve the team. I've been the honorary vice president of Birchwood Harriers Athletics Club for about 10 years now. And we at the clinic, we sponsor a lot of the junior athletes that go through Birchfield just because it's my first sport. It's the sport that I learned about human performance from. And because of that then extrapolates and that just goes. And so in athletics now, I'm known pretty well, I believe, like from the work that I've done. And you know, before just after London, I was asked to join the medical team as in performance sport. And so I did the cycle of the whole of Rio. I did the whole cycle of Rio. And then we went to Rio and we did the whole of Rio Olympics. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, to be fair. Three and a half weeks away from home. Just the intensity of the work. You know, when you're working in clinic, it's easy. You go to clinic, you see the patients, you leave the clinic, you come home, you're at home. But when you're on camp, you know, like, you know, midnight, if an athlete's hurting, they're gonna knock on your door. So
you're on call,
I was treating 6 a.m. You're on call. And you know, you're stressing for the athlete because you're like, shit, this person needs to be ready in 2 weeks, right? And we need to do X, Y, Z. So caseloads of all these patients that you really want them, you know, they've done 4 years You know, what you do over the next 2 weeks may affect their performance in 2 weeks. So the intensity of all of that, and then obviously you're with people that you don't live with, you don't know. The medical team become your family, and then obviously there's issues that can happen, people's personalities, and then as soon as the cracks start to happen, you know, people
can
then start
improve very quickly.